Hello, welcome back to Swinging at Shins, to myself as much as to you, the viewer, because I am back, joined as always with Aaron. I have no one in my house for the first time in like 4 weeks. I'm alone. I get to talk about soccer. Life's pretty good. Aaron, how are you doing?
I can't complain. I bumped my noggin a few times at work, but that's okay. Maybe we'll have some insightful thoughts.
I'm gonna say I don't think that's newsworthy. That's like saying the sun came up today, but
yeah, that's fair.
Here we are.
That's how I got anyway.
Yeah. Don't even have hair to cover up the lumps either. They're just there for everyone to see.
Wear it with pride.
For any of you who listen to us exclusively, he is very bald with a beautiful beard.
Thank you.
And I am very not bald with a ugly beard.
That's not true. He does have precious hair.
I have a beard. It's not good. I just have one.
But those Goldilocks.
I do have good locks. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my locks. We're here to talk about the Premier League. Things got interesting in match week 35.
It certainly did. I loved it.
Relegation battles really starting to take shape. You know what's not starting to take shape is the battle for top four.
How so?
That is like a hot potato that nobody wants.
No, that's kind of the bottom three stages too.
Yeah.
Which they shouldn't want.
They shouldn't want, but it's starting to make sense. I was mostly talking about West Ham have not mathematically, but pretty much mathematically secured being safe.
They feel comfortable.
Yeah, they would need to fail to win any of their last 3 games.
Yeah.
And Leeds and Leicester would need to win out, and Everton would need to win. Like, it's one of those things where you're not mathematically done, but you're pretty much fine.
You feel good opposed to where you were earlier.
United, I want to start in the top 4 though.
Yeah.
City won again. They've won 10 straight. They haven't lost since 2021 or some bullshit at this point. Arsenal was away to Newcastle, and what everyone was thinking, including myself, was going to end up being a very hard-fought match. It was a very well-played match from an attacking standpoint. I think it was a very poorly defended match. I think it's a miracle that Ramsdale gets out of there with a clean sheet.
That's true.
Not his fault, but still a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his miracle saves were what got him there. But Arsenal got the victory 2-0. So Newcastle is now 3 points above Liverpool. Who could I can't even believe that. They have a game in hand. They're 3 points above Liverpool.
It's so weird.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Nope.
And only 1 point above Liverpool, although they have a game in hand, is United. And I want to start there.
Sure.
Did you watch that match? Did you watch highlights of that match? Did you see the goal?
I watched all of it.
That goal was just.
So I was listening to the commentator, and one of the guys was like, half the West Ham fans were groaning. They were ready to groan, and then we're just shocked it went in.
I can't believe it went in.
It was the strangest goal because he had full hand, full 5 fingers, popped it, and it just went, nah. In I don't know, this is going to be like a way throwback here. Backyard soccer. You ever get to play backyard games?
Yeah. It did kind of have that. It did kind of have that feel to it.
Yeah. It's like when it's like an underground, I don't know, I don't remember what it was called, but like you kick it, goes underground and pops back up. That's kind of how it felt like.
Yep. For me, I don't know. I was incredulous. It reminded me, it isn't as egregious, but it reminded me of that goal in the 2010 World Cup where the U.S. and England drew, and the goalie just kind of like
Robert
into the goal.
Yeah.
It kind of felt, it was like that level of, it's saved. Wait, what?
No, it went in.
It was, I don't understand. This guy, and I'm going to get into this. My overall theme for this right now is a tale of 2 seasons, which is, I understand that's true a lot, but especially with Liverpool and Man United, it definitely feels like a tale of 2 seasons. And even their individual players. David De Gea has the joint most mistakes leading to goals.
Yes.
He is also leading the Golden Glove race by 2. He has 15 clean sheets.
Yeah.
The next closest are Allison and Ramsdale and Nick Pope, all at 13.
Yeah.
15 clean sheets.
He's so strange. I mean, it's like snake bite essentially.
The Tifo guys are not fans of him. I was listening to a little bit of their podcast, and they flat out said if he is in Man United's goal next year, Man United is not going to be competing at the top.
You know what the problem was? Is he wasn't using his feet to save that. If it was his foot, he would have saved it.
Well, his problem is he only knows how to save with his feet. He can't kick. He has no distribution at all.
Well, he can't save with his arms either.
Not right now. That's what everyone always said about him. It doesn't matter if he can't distribute. He's such a great shot stopper. Well, now he's not even a great shot stopper.
No, it's kind of like watching Joe Hart, right? That Man City goalkeeper. That's the kind of decline we're seeing right now. We're just not as quick because Joe Hart just like 3-4.
Yeah, he fell off. He fell off.
And then the next season, forget about it. But we're starting to see a slower decline of like a Joe Hart. I don't know. I actually disagree with your it's a tale of two seasons personally. I get it for Liverpool. It kind of makes sense. Okay. But for United
had won like 8 in a row at one point. In the beginning of January, they were coming for everybody. They were in the title race.
I get that. I want to say it's more like a home and away disaster. Because if they're home, they're fantastic. They haven't lost at all this season. I went all the way back. They have not lost at home.
That is true. I mean, and look who they beat at home. They beat Arsenal 3-1. And yeah, we can talk about, and yes, when they beat City 2-1, we can talk about VAR in that. But they still, they should have, I mean, if we're talking about this United team on their best day versus a City team on their best day, that's not even supposed to be a competition.
No.
Yeah, he was totally offside, but we've talked about that before. They do. And then they lose 4-0 at Brentford away.
Yep. They lose at Villa. They lost.
That's 2 seasons. It's the home season and the away season.
Okay, fine. If you're going to do that. Fine, I'll live with that then.
Can you imagine if that's how you played?
You'd only get half as many points.
Oh my God. I could listen. I could hear them now. I could hear everyone now. No. You want to start off with a home season because the home season, then you build up this huge lead and everyone's got to chase you. No, man. You want the home season to be the second half of the season so that you can like right your wrongs and go on the run at oh God, we'd argue about anything.
No, I just want a mixed bag. Just give me mixed bag season.
I like how it's done now. I do in a lot of ways. For the most part, it's not completely symmetrical, nor could it ever be, especially if, royal family crap keeps happening. But it's almost, the first teams you play are like the last teams you play, and it's like it's got like a nice symmetry to it.
Sure.
I like that. It's not exactly that, but I like that. I like the way the season's broken up. I think United at this point just want the season to be over.
Oh, probably. They're like, can we just get a top 4, please, and be done?
They are definitely, yeah. Well, they want top 4 for money. Can we get a
European place and be done?
They want top 4 for money, but if anyone needed the top 4 less, well, obviously the state-backed clubs.
Yeah, sure.
But United can just make up the money as they please and kind of do what they want with that.
Helps being one of the most popular teams in the world.
You gotta worry about them at City in the FA Cup final.
I think
it's gonna be ugly.
Can they play at home?
The home of football.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's gonna be ugly. I really do.
Especially, is it a week after the UCL?
It is.
Because I thought it got pushed back.
Is it the last thing they play?
I thought it got pushed back. I might have misheard or something like that, but I thought they said they rescheduled it for something. But what I'm trying to get at is, could you imagine if City wins the league, they also win UCL, and now Man United's pretty much staring down the barrel, and they're just gonna get run over.
Yeah, but also imagine if United stopped City from winning the treble.
Oh, that would be a neat narrative. I'm sure Will would be super happy.
I think I would be happy. It might be the only time I will ever be happy if United win a match ever. All right, they play on June 3rd, the FA Cup. Yeah. Excuse me.
Maybe it's what is the third? 10th would be.
I think it's that far out. Probably is that far out.
I doubt it.
June 10th. You had it.
There you go.
You had it exactly right. Look at you.
I know things.
Sometimes. Of course, that's assuming that Real doesn't destroy City Dreams.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could have happened if VAR was absolutely correct or used properly. Excuse me, not correct, because it was correct, but because the ball went out.
This is also all assuming that City maintain their perfect streak, because now at this point, Arsenal's passed what would be their hardest remaining test, which I think is kind of funny because when you look at how West Ham played us and you look at how teams like Bournemouth have played us, like who you can't look ahead and decide what's your toughest test going to be.
Sure.
But at this point, City 2-1 win over Leeds. There was a time when I thought Leeds might be all right in this game. It was not that long lived.
What, 5 minutes after? Because honestly, if Haaland was like 4 inches to the left of each of the posts, he probably could have had 4 goals that game. He was that open every single time. And I watched those goals. I was watching it live and just hit it out to Riyad. Riyad bangs it back to Ilkay, literally in the same spot 2 times in a row. And he's like, I got it, bro. I'll pad your assist stat. It was amazing. Like, how can you fall for it twice almost?
I meant to send you this. Sorry. We're jumping around a little bit today, but I meant to send you this. I'm not taking credit for it, but I also can't properly credit it because I don't remember who it was. It was a reel on Instagram, and they're talking about how Chelsea's season is decided. But they are the most influential team in English football right now because they get to decide the top 4 race. Because they still have United and Newcastle to play. They still have City to play.
Yeah.
And they still have Forest to play.
Jesus. What a heck of a...
Like, they are, like, every major race is still, like, technically... They are the deciding team. All roads go through West London somehow, even though right now they don't get to leave. City have Everton, who we're going to talk about them in a second. And I saw the score line and got excited because I thought maybe Everton was going to be on for the City, and now I'm not so sure. Although they did draw them earlier this year.
They did? It's been
wasn't that a 1-1 draw?
Hey, it's possible. Hold on, I'll click it right now. It was
their guy slipped, and then what was his name? Who was the goal scorer for Everton?
Come on, man. Let me click forward again. Hold on.
I can remember the goal. I can't remember his name.
For Everton?
Yeah.
Demarai Gray.
Yeah, Demarai Gray. Remember, he slipped outside the box and no one closed on him, and then he just hit that curling banger. Yeah.
Like he did against Arsenal last year?
Uh-huh. It was a 1-1 draw. So Everton's in the middle of a relegation battle. They're going to dice it up. Not saying it's going to happen at this point. Smart money is to pick City to win everything. Then they have Chelsea at home. Then they have Brighton away. And then they have Brentford away in the final day of the season.
I think I was telling Brian, I think City could win out. I think the only one that I'm really concerned about is actually Brentford.
If I was in Brentford, Brentford's. I agree with you. And this is the way the math works. They need to draw twice, and Arsenal need to win out.
Yeah,
two sets of drop points. It's not just a loss. They need to drop at least 4 points. Because Arsenal's not catching them in the goal difference battle because they have a cheat code, and
they do have cheat code.
Arsenal don't.
Well, that's the thing. Like, do you think it's crazy to think that City have €150 million euro. I'm not 100% sure. Release clause, and they have to rethink that release clause now.
I don't think they do.
Huh?
I don't think they do, and this is going to sound very moneybally,
Yeah.
but the players that you can get, I would always rather have 2 75 million euro players than 150 million.
I don't know, man. Haaland is worth every bit of everything that he's putting out right now.
And he is. But one thing I will say, and maybe they figured it out, but this is his first season of being essentially injury free. He had some knocks, he missed some games, but he missed wide swaths of games with Dortmund.
Okay, that's fair. But also, he broke the record for Premier League in goals.
Yes.
He's still scoring, and there's still 4 games left, so he could essentially get to 40 goals this season without thinking about it. Just in the league.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you put him on Southampton, does he score 40 goals?
Yes. Actually, weirdly enough, okay, he probably doesn't score.
No.
He will score about 20, though. He'll score about 20, 25.
Yes, and that's true. But my point is the team makes up much more of importance. He doesn't score 40 with Arsenal.
I disagree with that, actually.
I don't, because that's not the way that Arsenal plays. He doesn't score 40 with United.
No.
He probably does score 40 with Newcastle.
And, yeah, I could think
with that. All right, fine. 50 goals. I know where you're going with this. He'll score 50 at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea need that one guy to actually finish a goal.
It's not even that. Like, where I was trying to go with was they're not – who was it? Carragher? Carragher was saying that he believed that Haaland isn't even playing 100% of his capacity because the way he plays is such a direct style where he can blow the top off of the defense if they were to get between the defense, hit that space. You know, I don't know if you've watched it where he'll start his runs early and then they'll feed him the ball just as he's on the shoulder. So he knows how to beat the offside. And they're not using that speed that he has in order to get past that defense. City isn't. But teams that like Chelsea, who play that kind of direct style, direct counterattacking style, could benefit from something like that.
Yes, they absolutely could.
Which is why I said Victor Osimhen would be a good style fit for them. But that's aside the point.
To me, and this is why, I mean, it's going to go back to me saying he wouldn't score 40 with Arsenal. It's because it comes down to how are you structuring your team? And Pep has his City way of playing.
Sure.
Where, yeah, they can hit you. I mean, that second Arsenal game, it felt like we were getting hit on the counter constantly. And I'm not sure that that's necessarily what was happening, but that's just what it felt like. And they used his speed there. But also, Kevin De Bruyne was just
masterclass.
God, he has worldies against Arsenal every time we play him. It's nightmares.
You could see it in his eyes, too. Like the last 10 games that they've played, he is the Kevin De Bruyne of the past season.
Is he like, did he grow up a Spurs fan? Because he hates Arsenal.
The bottles that were thrown at him, too.
Yeah, that was shitty.
I get it was shitty, but oh my god, the snarkiness and the suave from.
I mean, he's on 100%. He's on 100%. He's absolutely amazing. He's dodging everything. He's doing everything. It's absolutely amazing what he does.
Yeah, he's so good.
I don't know. I think that as good as Haaland is, I think that if someone came along and offered or did a release clause of 150. So first of all, who can trigger that in the world?
There's like 3 clubs. Barcelona,
PSG. Barcelona cannot.
They could.
No, they couldn't. We're talking about financial levers for like the entirety of all last season. Suddenly they have 150 million to put on one guy. They can't even. No, they can't. No, they can't. They can't even get some of their guys signed.
They can pull it off.
No, they can't.
They would do it somehow, some way.
This is not FIFA.
I'm telling you, they will finagle something in order to make it happen. But yes,
PSG.
Yes, Real.
If the state-backed led whatever of Newcastle decide to spend money.
That's true.
And it won't happen this season, but if United actually get bought by Qataris.
Yeah, and again, Real Madrid.
I don't know if Madrid would ever splash 150.
Why not? They got an aging Karim Benzema. Could you imagine how awesome that team would be if they had Haaland? Because then it's Camavinga, Vinicius Jr., Haaland, and I'm drawing on. Hold on, I can actually look up the roster right here because it's in front of my face. You can tell I watch La Liga. Marco Asensio will probably be gone. Rodrigo, Tuchemeni, Ceballos.
You say Asensio will probably be gone because there's reports he's going to Villa?
No, well, yes, I did hear about that. But no, he'll probably be gone because he can make a ton. I don't know. He might stay. To be fair, I would stay if I was him. I wouldn't want to go to Villa. Sorry. You're also on the best club in the world.
I also think that Real Madrid's needs lie elsewhere.
As far as getting
midfield
manager?
Midfield.
Oh, okay. What do you? How would you think?
Every single person is talking about Carlo Ancelotti leaving.
Yes, that's right.
I'm still not. I don't.
It's not his decision. It's going to be Real's decision.
And why would Real get rid of him, especially if he wins another CL?
Because they love getting rid of their coaches.
Okay, then they get Zidane back. They always do.
Well, that or Jose Mourinho.
I could also see that. Honestly, yeah. I really could. But look at their midfield. Modric, Kroos, Hazard, all too old.
Valverde.
Danny Ceballos.
Gone.
Yeah, he ain't playing there. He ain't playing there. Camavinga, Valverde, and Tuchemeni. So, yeah, while they have some very good guys in that midfield, absolutely, I think that they're going to go out and splurge on the one guy that they really, really need, who is Jude Bellingham.
Oh, that too.
And all this money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Well. And quite frankly, I also am curious of what is going on behind the scenes, because we knew this was going to take a while, but I'm going to bring it up, and I'm not going to bring it up from we're losing. I'm going to bring it up talking solely about money and nothing else. Mm-hmm. It was 100+ charges against Man City in the FFP.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that anything drastic is going to happen in form of punishments for past wrongs.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you do see hey, you can't do this shit anymore. And I wonder, you're talking about 150 million. It's really hard to make 150 million work on one guy and balance FFP for the next 6 years. It's really, really hard to do. And when you have teams with a lot of turnover, even a team that like Real that very well may win the CL again this year, that's still going to have turnover. Mm-hmm. Modric and Kroos are going to be too old.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, it's just one of those things where they age out. Now you have to do stuff. I don't know who could actually spend 150. And if someone does, then they can take the Qatari money or the Saudi money or whoever, and it'll probably be a backroom deal in the Middle East anyway, because that's what football is now. And I think the city would be happy.
Probably.
I really do.
It's possible.
And that's not me being a Haaland hater. City's about to win their 6 out of 7 championships.
Something like that, yeah.
No, they've won 4 or 5. So this will be their 5th or 6th. 5th out of 6.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe. They won 2. Liverpool won 1. Then they've won the last 2 again.
Yeah.
This would be the only one they've won with Haaland. It's just one of those things where it's like, yes, is he absolutely amazing? Yes, he's a cheat code. I called him that earlier. But if you're going to pay me 150 million for the guy, because I'm going to get the next really good guys.
That's true.
You know, Kevin De Bruyne is a guy you hold on to, which is why that's what they've done.
That's fine by me. I mean, they can make it work with Alvarez, so.
Oh, and then the other point I was actually trying to circle back to at the beginning. Oh, yeah, that's true. Totally forgot. Julian Alvarez is dude's backup.
Yeah.
It'd be fine. Would they get 40 goals out of Julian Alvarez? No, they probably wouldn't get 30 goals out of Julian Alvarez, but I bet they get 20.
And at least 15 more from their wingers.
The other thing I was circling back to is if they do try to if someone does the release clause, if someone triggers a release clause for Haaland, are they really going to be able to offer a better contract than City is? Because release clause doesn't mean you buy the player. It just means that he gets to leave his contract if they choose. And if he chooses to leave his contract and sign with a new team, that team has to pay you that predetermined amount.
I'm trying to think of who would be the team, and that's kind of why I said Real Madrid.
And keep in mind, that team now has to pay a better contract than City, and they're out $150 million. And you also don't get to structure release clauses. That's $150 million right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe the release clause doesn't get triggered, but it's still fascinating that the thought of $150 million might not be enough as far as
that's true. I mean, for players' value, sure.
Yeah.
But you can also value out. You just can. There's a ceiling because at the end of the day, it's like pitching. Yeah, the better pitcher with the lower ERA is great unless he pitches 20 innings and my guy who pitches 200 innings has a 3 ERA. It's like, okay, I'm going to take the 200 inning guy. Mm-hmm. If I have two €75 million players, they probably both don't get injured at the same time.
Yeah.
Speaking of injury at the same time, this is going to be the one thing I talk about with Arsenal. I want to know how different the season would be if we lost 2 of the guys that we just couldn't lose. Everyone was talking about we can't lose Jesus and look how bad we're going to be. We were fine. Well, we can't lose Partey. No, we have Jorginho now. And in fact, Jorginho's playing over Partey, which was a masterstroke by Arteta and probably should have come earlier. But again, you don't rock the boat too much. Mm-hmm. But we lost a center back. And then we lost our right back coverage. So now Ben White can't play center back. And we lose both those guys at the same time. And, Rob Holding, you silly boy.
Yeah, he's tough to watch.
I love you because you are such a good boy, but you are so dumb.
A Serbian boy? Is that what you said?
Rob Holding?
Yeah, Servian.
Servian. What are you saying?
Subservient? Is that how would you say it? He's a good
subservient.
I have no idea, man. I just try to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I try to inject. Man. So he's very much. He's loyal to his team.
Oh, servient.
There you go. See, that's what I wanted.
Okay.
I was darting around.
And you know what? I might not even have said it correctly, but at least I know what you're talking about. Everyone else can listen. On to the next bit.
Yep.
Chelsea win yet?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. That's sad. Come on, Bournemouth. What? You're out of the relegation battle? You got nothing to play for anymore?
No, what are they going to worry? Just rest.
God, they're actually scoring goals.
They only scored 3. That's like...
That tripled their goals. Seriously.
No, I know. Because it was only Conor Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher had that awful deflection goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was their only goal in April.
Yeah. So I guess for the fan base, it'll be really easy to pick who is the goal of the month.
I miss the memes, man. Not for me. They're going to have to decide between 3. An embarrassment of riches, these guys.
Oh, my goodness. Who would have thought? And did you see who was in that lineup for that match, too? It was João Felix sat. And let me see here. So Mudryk actually got to start.
Played 60 minutes.
And Madueke got to start.
Madueke, who looked the best against Arsenal.
You know what? He's out of all the people that they've bought so far, I think he's been the best looking player. Best piece so far. I like it. It's just
insane.
One out of
the money they've spent. That is just insane.
14 players or something like that.
Also, one of those guys is Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah,
That is just insanity. Anyway,
I don't mind Enzo Fernandez. I think he actually is a good player. Again,
he's definitely a good player.
The money that they paid for him was a little out of control, and now it's going to blow up the market for that reason. But I
don't know if it is.
I think to some degree, like, oh my God, who's the Scott Boras of the world? It might blow it out for that, but Scott Boras,
but then you're going to have
a famous MLB agent for.
Yes, and he did screw up contracts for a while, but it took enough dumb teams willing to pay for them.
Yeah,
and our sports with revenue sharing are built differently. They share revenue from like TV contracts. So if you're a Premier League club, you get a lot more money.
Yep.
That's true, but you don't get enough money to be triggering $120 million release clauses for guys just because you want to.
Nobody should, except for
nobody should,
because he's worth $1 trillion.
Even that we should.
I said that to some of my coworkers, and I go, "How much do you think this owner is?" And he goes like $1 billion. I go higher. He goes, "Oh my God, I don't know, like 3." I go higher. He goes, "What? It's higher." I go higher. He goes, "Okay, 15." I go, "You're not even in the ballpark." He goes, "Seriously? What do you mean?" I go, "Guess higher." He goes, 50. Not even in the ballpark. Okay, 100. Nope. 500. Nope. I go, "You're still not even in the ballpark." He goes, 1 trillion. I go, $1 trillion.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, worth is different than. I mean, and which guy are you talking about? Are you talking about the entire group as a whole?
No, the Prince.
Oh, because Newcastle, right? Oh, this is ESPN FC. This is back in 2021, so
yeah,
$320 billion.
Still,
yeah, anyway. It's probably grown a lot since then. I'm sure that it will be completely trustworthy.
All of it will come,
and there will be no issues.
No, not at all.
What is this dude's name?
Mohammed something.
Oh, yeah.
That's not. I wasn't being.
No, Yasir Al-Rumayyan.
Yasir?
Yasir.
Oh, I thought it was Muhammad. Oh, well. Oh, well. You know what? We don't really need to talk about owners all that much.
No, they're interesting. Come on.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Oh, no, never mind. That's just the public face. Good God in heaven. I can't keep this straight, which is probably what the point is. Anyway.
That figure's over there.
We were robbed of the 007 memes.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Yep, I was.
Damn it.
That was actually my first thought when they won. I was like, oh. For those who don't know, there was a Jadon Sancho, Sky Sports. I think it was Sky Sports.
Probably.
Someone did him super dirty. It was 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 games, and they called him 007 and pretended he was a new James Bond. Well, Lampard was 0 wins, 0 draws, 6 losses going into this.
Yeah.
So we were excited about that. But nope.
Taken from us.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes,
I am sure that you were going to touch on the Wolves Villa game in the Villa.
Already did it. It is out. You guys should go and listen to it. I wasn't thrilled that we lost, but I could see why we lost. And I mean, we didn't take our opportunities when they were given to us. That's pretty much the gist of the show, the episode.
I want to get into the action on Monday.
Monday's action. Oh, crazy.
Yep. I want to talk about Fulham Leicester first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leicester is going down.
Oh, sad.
And they deserve it. Their defense is so bad. Their defense is so bad.
Well, Faust sucks. I'm sorry.
I thought it was Face. I thought that's how you pronounced it.
Face, Faust. I have no idea. It's probably Face.
He is bad.
And they should have been starting Sun Yun-Chu. They, as in Brendan Rodgers, should have been starting Sun Yun-Chu earlier because he's actually clearly an elite defender. Elite to above average. I'd say good to great.
Careful. I'm getting cheerleader effect for that.
good to great.
You look like a freaking hero when you're next to Dalton Faust.
Yeah. But, he did score a goal the other day, or was it in that match in particular Monday? Or it might have been in the match a while ago. Or last week, excuse me. No, it was last week he scored a goal.
Yeah, it wasn't this time.
Yeah. Well, he's better than... I can't even think of the other defender that they have.
Well, anyway.
Suter. I get there.
Daniel Iverson is not as good as Allen Iverson.
No, he's not.
Fine, Iverson. That direct free kick, I don't know. You got to come out and try to win the ball.
Do something. He just flashed.
You had plenty of time. And instead the ball it landed right next to his ankles.
Yep.
That was awful. That was absolutely awful. And yes, it was a very good free kick by Willian, because that's a dangerous part that creates unsuredness.
Yep.
But it should never skip in like that.
Nope.
That is pathetic.
Punched it, something. I don't know.
It was 3-0 at the half.
Yes, it was.
4-0 not long after. Harvey Barnes did his absolute best to make it interesting.
He certainly did.
It ended up 5-3, and quite frankly, I think that 5-3 is flattering to Leicester.
It could have been 5-4. Vardy didn't miss a pen.
Yeah, that's true. I also think
Madison took a pen in the 81st.
Yeah, but again, that's one of those that could have been 5-4 if they didn't miss a pen. And I'm looking at expected goals, and I understand what expected goals is telling me, but that's because when you do the expected goals thing, you're expecting to have a decent fucking defender between you and the goal.
They had 2 pens, so that jacks it up by like
0.85.
Each pen is
0.85,
something like that. So cut off 1.6, 1.9, 1.6 to 1.7. Excuse me. So,
yeah, when I brought up expected goals, I was mostly talking about Fulham had 5 when they had an expected goal of 1.6.
Yeah, that's
if you take out the 1.6 from 1.7 that Aaron is talking about, that leaves them with 1.14.
Yeah.
So
which is
even
exactly
expected goals. Yeah. I don't know. I thought Fulham, I am very surprised the expected goals is low. In fact, I was also very surprised when I looked at the Arsenal-Newcastle match to see expected goals that low. Both teams were in like the ones.
Yeah.
That people were hitting posts. It was insanity. People were everywhere.
Again,
it felt like one of those games where it should have been like 5-4 instead of 2-0.
It did. I watched that match back and I was like, "Whoa!"
I was shaking.
Yeah, right out of the gate too.
But back to Fulham. I thought that first goal was bad, and Everson definitely should have blocked it. But apart from that, it felt like they deserved most of what they got.
Mm-hmm.
Because Leicester just look horrible. I can't believe Leicester have a better record than Southampton right now. That is how poor Leicester looked to me.
I don't know if there's any hope for them. And I want to have hope for them. But the only teams that ahead of them that I would be rooting against would be Nottingham Forest or Everton. And Everton, their match fixtures look like City, Wolves, and Bournemouth. So outside of
That's not easy. And Wolves can beat almost anybody right now. I don't expect them to, but they can.
And it's at the Marlemew too. So they play
Molyneux.
Marlemew.
Nope,
it is Marlemew.
Doesn't have an R. Doesn't have an R in there.
Marlemew. I'm not even. Wait, where are you hearing R? Marlemew. Oh, I do hear an R now, but it is Marlemew. Trust me.
Any longtime listeners, if we have those, know that when it comes to Wolves, apparently we can't pronounce anything, which is mostly why we were just bickering with each other. No, I don't see any hope for Leicester. If for nothing more than Leeds at least has Big Sam.
Yeah.
And I don't say that that's going to be enough to get out of relegation. But Brendan Rodgers and this Leicester team over 3 games.
Yeah.
Or Leeds with Big Sam over 3 games.
You said Brendan Rodgers. I really know you meant Dean Smith.
That is what I meant. I'm very sorry about that.
It's okay.
Guys, you see the crib behind me? It is
weeks.
occupied. It is occupied. It's been at least 3 weeks because she's 3 weeks as of Monday. But the crib is occupied, and I am whoo. Anyway, even Dean Smith, I would trust Leeds over Leicester right now. I would trust anyone over Leicester. Quite frankly, if I needed to get 5 points for the last 3 games and I could pick between Southampton, Leeds, or Leicester, I'm picking the other 2 before I pick Leicester. I have no faith in them right now. James Maddison and Harvey Barnes seem to be the only people on the pitch that actually give a shit about anything.
I like Harvey Barnes. He's such a good player, and so is
he is. And they are, which is why they will get picked up when Leicester goes down.
Yep.
But Leicester's going down.
So Leicester have, for their last 3 matches, home at Liverpool, away at Newcastle, and home against West Ham.
That's brutal.
Leeds have home against Newcastle, away against West Ham, and home against Tottenham. And I did not bother to look up Everton or New Forest.
Well, we know Everton have City.
Right.
Then they have Wolves away. Then they have Bournemouth at home.
Right. I did actually say those things happening. Chelsea.
And then
Chelsea
Forest.
Forest.
We don't care about Chelsea. We don't care about Chelsea. Chelsea's out of it.
They play Forest.
We care about Forest.
They play home against Arsenal, and I expect a win for Nottingham Forest, so put your money on that. And Crystal Palace away Forest.
To end the season.
Last game. Yeah.
I have no idea. Apart from not Leicester. Southampton, Leicester going down. I'm sorry if I'm screwing up a true false for you. Southampton, Leicester going down. Yeah. It'll be a 3-way battle between Leeds, Everton, and Forest.
You act like I have true falses.
Yeah, well, you're going to come up with one.
So you'll be fine. Spot.
Yeah, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, probably.
Also, for anyone who doesn't remember, last time Arsenal faced Nottingham Forest, it was 5-0 at the Emirates.
Yeah.
We matched up well against Forest.
That's at the Emirates. I'll tell you right now.
That doesn't matter. Arsenal are the best away team. Arsenal are the best away team in the league. And it's not even close.
Give me a second. Hold on. 2 loss. Draw. Loss. Draw. They have picked up. I didn't do the points in my head, but Forest have only lost at home. And I say lost. They have drawn a few times. At home twice in the last month.
Yeah, in the last month. They've lost twice in the last month. How many home games do you play in a month?
Probably 2, but if I go back to January, if you really want to do this, they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've picked up 8 games where they've either drawn or won, and 9, 10. Sorry, 11. Nope, that's in the EFL Cup.
And while I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you that Forest is the best home team,
I didn't say
they do
better at home.
That's because you cut me off. I was saying the best home team of those left in the relegation battle. Arsenal are 12-3-3 away from home this year.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure if I look it up, they probably had the most clean sheets away from home.
If I'm putting money down, I'm putting it on Forest.
Well, just give your money to me because I will use it, and you're not getting it back anyway. There's no way that Arsenal drops that match. After what they just did in Newcastle, you think Arsenal's going to go into Forest in the penultimate game of the season? And nah,
I'm not crazy. In my head. Yes,
you're crazy. Absolutely insane. In fact, right now I'm more worried about Brighton.
I don't know. They just got
Forest away
handed to them by Everton.
That is true, and that was entirely Brighton's defense fault.
Oh, they got shellacked because of that.
Their defense was bad.
They're being lazy.
They started flat-footed, and they did not get any better.
Absolutely not. Right off of a turnover in the first 30 seconds.
It was goal scored in the 36th or 37th second. It was just they never got it any better. That was bad.
Decore was everywhere he needed to be and more.
True. That was true. Decore looked great and Iwobi looked great.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where, like I said earlier, I had some hope because they seem to be doing well. And I was like, oh, they're about to play City. I don't think City has the same holes. You can be everywhere you want to be, but if the defense is also there, it doesn't really matter. But that was the second game that we wanted to talk about. Everton 5, Brighton 1. It was bad. That was at the Amex too. Yeah. Although Brighton is one of those teams, they don't really care about home or away. They seem to play identically wherever they are.
True. And just did not play well for this particular match.
And then
they were hit on the counter every time. They got diced.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Not even kind of. Man, it was literally textbook dice. Suck them in, get a counter, get a turnover. See you later.
They still have. I'm looking at this.
They have 4 games left. 5 games.
Yeah, they have 5 games left.
Mm-hmm. They have a midweek one, I think, this week and next week, right?
They can't. Do they have one on Thursday? They have one tomorrow? They played on Monday.
Maybe that's the one. I don't know. Hold on.
No, it must be next week. They have Saturday. They have Sunday. They have Mother's Day. Away at the Arsenal. Yep. Then they got to have something midweek next week.
Thursday, they play Newcastle next week. And then Sunday, and then they play Wednesday. Brutal. Yeah, that's a tough stretch.
What do they have on Sunday?
Also, Arsenal, Newcastle. Sunday is Southampton. So that's kind of a.
And then Wednesday, City. Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the top 3 teams in the league.
And then they play Villa on the last day at Villa Park. That's a tough stretch.
That is a very tough stretch.
Even excluding Villa.
Don't exclude Villa. Put your Villa glasses back on. Villa has, for the last 3 months, Villa has been arguably the best or second best team in the league. And yeah, we're talking about over a whole season. What are you going to do? And well, quite frankly, they're 8th right now. So that shows you how much the whole season matters. Mm-hmm. But to talk about like how good Villa is and how much you just don't want to go to Villa Park right now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not Villa glasses. Villa's dangerous.
Yeah.
It could be very fun. That could be the deciding match to see who gets into the Conference League.
Yep, probably.
That could be a European football qualifier.
I can't
last
wait.
Day of the season.
I can't wait. It's gonna be real fun. This whole last day is gonna be real fun.
Hey, can Brighton and Villa get their shit together and finish above Tottenham so Tottenham can finish 8th and we can laugh at them like everyone laughed at us? That would be amazing.
I don't know who Villa played for the last. That's the thing that I'm going to look up on the side if you want to continue where we're going to go.
Yep. Next. And I am going to continue with where we're going to go because we've been looking up a lot of stuff on the sides.
Yes, we have.
While I am back, I have not had like any time to do anything. So not a lot of prep time going into this.
How dare you? Just kidding. Enjoy your first.
The last match of the season.
Yeah,
she is beautiful. And I'm not going to say that she is better than my first daughter because there's a lot of things that we know how to do now that we didn't know with the first one, but my God, is it easier this time? I do think a lot of that is because she's had like 3 more weeks in the oven.
Also, you kind of had a trial run, so.
Yep. All right. Anyway, last match that we want to talk about before we get into future predictions and true false was Forest Southampton. Yeah. Thriller of a match. Absolutely fun. I never really thought Southampton was going to get back into it. They got a lot closer than I thought they were going to.
Yeah. They made it interesting.
The 4-3 is a bit flattering because the third goal was a James Ward-Prowse. Shouldn't have been I truly don't think should have been a penalty. I really don't think that Ainsley Maitland-Niles was hard done to be given a penalty in that moment. To have a penalty called against him in that moment, and that all happened in the. God, I don't remember, like 96, 97th minute.
Yeah.
So this is essentially a 4-2
win
game.
Yeah.
But great win for Forest. I don't know if they needed 20 men to stay up, but they're staying up. And it's a great win because it takes a player off the board. Southampton are essentially done.
Probably, yeah.
They would need Leicester City FC and Leeds to pick up. I mean, to lose out. They would need to win out. If Leicester City and Leeds both pick up 1 point in their final 3 matches, Southampton would be pretty much relegated. That's a goal difference stat. But that's also assuming that Everton and Forest don't do anything.
Yeah.
Because they can't just jump Leeds and Leicester. If they jump Leeds and Leicester, congratulations, you're still 18th.
Yeah, right.
You need another team to fall in. And with everyone who's playing each other, I don't even know if it's possible for them to come out anymore. It might be like mathematically possible, but it like a lot of things would have to break your way.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of teams playing each other.
Yep. Yeah, especially at the bottom of the table like that. So,
like Leeds, you just said Leeds still have to play Forest?
I think so. Hold on.
So that right there. No. Someone still has to play Forest.
Chelsea's playing Forest. It's Crystal Palace and Arsenal.
Oh, never mind.
I think you're thinking of Leicester City still have to play West Ham. Or
yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Then Everton have to play people. Everton have to play Wolves and Bournemouth.
Yep, also doesn't matter. All right, never mind. So that's why they're still technically afloat. Because none of those final 5 teams are playing each other, which is a little bit disappointing. I want 18th and 19th to be playing each other. Equal on points and equal on goals on the last day of the season. I want that more than I want what we got last year, where like the title was decided. I want that more. That's more fun to me. That's impossible. I mean, not impossible. It's incredibly hard.
Oh, for sure. Because then both those teams have to be, I don't know, expected.
Yeah, and you're not
like it's even the way the schedule rolls. It's weird.
And even if you wanted to like plan it,
yeah.
Let's be real. Who would have thought? I mean, I would have picked Everton to be this low because, like I've been saying this entire time, they weren't great last year and they only got worse.
Yep.
But apart from that, Southampton, I think a lot of people would have picked to go down.
I mean,
but Leeds and Leicester,
not expecting them because I would have picked Bournemouth.
West Ham, who has a European semifinal.
Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't who I would have selected. This isn't the thought, and I'm sure everybody else in these fan bases feel the same. But, do gooder.
All right, coming up on the 13th, Leeds and Newcastle at Elland Road. Could be interesting. Newcastle, while they were red hot, Elland Road's a tough place to play.
It is always a tough place to play.
Could get Big Sam'd.
Maybe. He's got another week to... He's had another week with the team to influence.
Villa, yep. Villa's going to... Well, also, I'm sorry, 2-1 win. 2-1 loss against City. Almost feels like a win.
I guess if you only look at the stat line and not how the rest of the match went.
Doesn't matter. It's about how many goals you score.
Oh, okay.
Villa versus Tottenham at Villa Park. Villa's going to give me an early birthday present.
You got it.
Forest and Chelsea at the Bridge. Palace and Bournemouth in South London. United versus Wolves at Old Trafford. Nothing really to... I mean, United have stuff to play for. Wolves at this point, they're pretty much set. In fact, I think Wolves is officially safe.
They've got 40 points.
Yep. They have 40 points. They are officially safe from relegation.
Yeah.
So they don't really have anything to play for apart from pride. United has a lot of things to play for. They cannot keep dropping points. Could be interesting.
Well, again, they're at home, so I don't think they'll lose. I really don't think they'll lose.
Southampton versus Fulham. This could be the dagger in Southampton's heart.
Possibly.
A loss there, I think, does them in, depending on how other games go.
Shuffle, yeah.
Brentford versus West Ham. So, yeah. Don't expect West Ham to get away from that. That's on Sunday. Everton versus City. I'm going to be cautiously hopeful, but cautiously as in, like, I'm going to quickly be like, oh, yeah, no, I wasn't expecting anything. Arsenal and Brighton at the Emirates. You're not expecting any surprises there, too?
Maybe because De Zerbi would want his team to actually show up for the game.
True, but is that going to be any less than what Arteta's going to do?
Agreed. I'm not saying it's a trap, because obviously for it to be a trap, they'd have to be a lesser team, but I'm just saying it's going to be a tough match. It was always going to be a tough match, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. When we played them at the MX, it was 4-2, but it was a very open game.
Yeah, which is going to be that again.
And then Leicester-Liverpool. Yeah, I'd like to see us close down a little bit more. Really like how Kivior's been playing. I would like to see Kivior be a little bit more mature. I think would be the words. And then, Leicester and Liverpool.
Leicester wins.
In the Midlands. Yeah, very well could. That would be interesting. Could you imagine if Leicester beat Liverpool to stay up? That'd be awesome.
Well, it'd be really neat for narrative.
All right. We are heading into Truso und Falso.
Cool.
You like how I did that? You like how I butchered fake Spanish with a little bit of German in between?
I don't like it. Please go back.
All right. True, false.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with the first one because I want it to be true. Tell me it's true. Tottenham Hotspur finished 8th.
True. Mark it down. Because there are teams. I mean, if Villa win this weekend, it's a possibility that Spurs are going to be down in the 8th position.
If Villa win by 3 goals, which is a lot, and I'm not saying it's going to happen.
It's possible.
But if Villa win by 3 goals,
yeah,
they will be ahead of Tottenham on goal difference.
Sick.
Equal on points, ahead on goal difference. Same amount of matches played.
I will say that Villa finally have gotten a ton of their players back. That's pretty helpful.
It's always good to have
help this cause. Oh well, yeah.
It's like a new signing.
Yes. Goodness. Let me come up with one on the hot jam. I did have one. I forgot what we were talking about though.
That's okay.
Caramba. Man, just hit me with another one. This is sad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not sad. You're fine. Let's see here. All right. Also because we've heard my thoughts, not your thoughts. Bottom 3 teams, Southampton, Leeds, Leicester, in that order. Finish the season in that order.
Oh, God.
Not what you want, what you think.
What I want, what I want is not to have Leicester in there. But they've also been playing so bad. I don't understand how there is any other way that they're going to be there.
Yeah, this is kind of a question of do you think Leeds gets out of it?
Yeah. And I know they have Big Sam, and we talked about it with Brian and how successful he's been. But he's also been given more time than just the 4 matches that he's been given. Typically, he's been given at least 10. And that might be too little too late. Yeah, and last week I also said that The week before, Bournemouth would be possibly tipped in there when and then they won next week, making their chances better. So you know what? Maybe this is exactly what happens, and then so it's not true.
I would love to
jinxing myself so that.
Yep, I would love it. The soccer gods care more about what two Americans across an ocean say about than all the fans in all of England.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I get it. I deal with it. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's see. True or false? Liverpool finished third.
Ooh. False. I think Eddie Howe will get Newcastle to finish it out. However, if you had said that Newcastle finished fourth.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it would have been true. I really think they're going to.
The only reason I said that is because they're winning. They've won their last 5.
Yep.
And they're only.
Who do they have, actually?
3
points. Look at this. They have Leicester away. Right well, I mean, so they have 2 winnable games, and then no one likes playing at Anfield, and as good as Villa is, it's Anfield.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 wins and a draw. We're talking 7 points there, and a draw is a little bit courteous. It could very easily be 9 points. I mean, Arsenal got a point out of Anfield for the first time since I was born, it feels like, this season. So, while Newcastle
they still have 2 or 3 tough teams left to play too. Definitely 2.
Oh, sorry, club friendlies. Chelsea away, Leicester at home, Brighton at home, Leeds away. See, I think that's too easy for them.
Okay.
I think it's too easy for them, and they also have, while they're only 3 points behind, they also have a game in hand. But okay. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not saying it's for sure not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I understand that by true false, by definition, it is, and if I had to put money, I'd put money on that's not going to happen. But I'm like 70% sure it's not going to happen.
Okay.
All right. Why, you think it's going to happen?
No. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Liverpool could have a strong possibility of at least being in a Champions League position. I don't know where it's going to be through 3rd or 4th.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to. I don't think United have not done anything.
And you know what? Honestly, I don't care how I actually should care. I say they should care because if United stay in the Champions League, then the FA Cup and win the FA Cup. Actually, no, it doesn't matter because City will be there, so that European spots shift down because of the FA Cup now.
Europa spots shift down.
I said European spots.
But it's not all European spots. This UCL stays a UCL. Winning the FA Cup guarantees you Europa. It does not guarantee you Champions League. So the Europa one would skip down. Like the next 2 would count. Because England sends 2 teams to Europa. The FA Cup winners and whoever finished 5th. If the FA Cup winners finish in one of those positions or higher, then they have to send the next 2 teams down.
Yep.
I know this because for a fleeting moment, a couple years ago, I thought that Arsenal were going to go to the Champions League, finishing 5th, but that was not true.
No. Right.
So yeah, you should care.
Yep. Yep, because
but it won't matter anyway because I don't think United fall farther than 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really don't because Tottenham's got way too much ground to make up, and I don't believe in them. And even though Brighton and Hove have 5 games, that's 5 times 3, that's 15 points, and they're 10 points behind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it honestly at this point, that's a good point. Because your team, it's going to get shifted down to 6. 5 and 6 will get to go.
Then
I don't know what that means by Conference League.
I think the Conference League gets moved down one more too.
Is it 7 and 8 then? I don't know who gets to go to the Conference League.
I think only one goes into the Conference League.
Yeah, all right.
I think it's only one team. Conference League is weird, people. There's no structure for it. There's literally no structure.
And we also don't care.
That's true. That's not necessarily.
I care about the No, I don't care about the Conference League.
I
care about the
Champions League. So
no, I didn't care about. All right, fine, but people say we don't care about Europa because it's not the Champions League. Here's the only reason why I care about the Conference League. Because green is the best color out of all those things, which means that right now they have the best logo, which is crazy. Sorry, everything about the Champions League from a design standpoint is awful.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Europa's got a better song.
Yes,
the Champions League has a awesome song from a nostalgia standpoint, but it does not have an awesome song from a quality of song standpoint. And then the Europa has the best logo. So I care about Europa because, Conference League. Conference League has the best logo. So I care about Conference League from 2 points. Best logo and the memes from West Ham this year.
It's true.
Those are the only 2 reasons why I care about the Conference League. Apart from that, does not exist in my head. Might have to exist in my head if Villa are playing in it next year, though.
It's true.
All right. One thing that I meant to talk about at the top of the hour, and we're talking about it at the top of the second hour, at the Beer Garden, Championship Sunday, May 28th. It is Memorial Day weekend, I believe.
It's Memorial Day weekend.
It's Memorial Day weekend. More importantly, we are live streaming our show from the Beer Garden.
Yeah.
I talked with Sam. It's happening. We already have a place picked out. It's going to be great. Even more important than that, because it's charity, 10% of all the proceeds of all the money generated at the Beer Garden are going to be going to Well, I don't know about all the money. 10% of the beer sales, at least, I know that, are going to be.
Bloody hell.
You say beer and your hands fall over. There you go. 10% of the sales of beer at Championship Sunday will go to Habitat for Humanity. I believe it is the local Hudson branch that we are working with. Woodsy from the Albany LFC supporters group is setting all of this up. We are just saying thank you very much and jumping on the bandwagon. So look for a live stream. Look for a way to donate on the live stream. And if you live near the capital region, go to the Beer Garden for Championship Sunday. It's going to be wild.
Yep.
It's going to be everything might be in play.
Casual fan or somebody who wants to be introduced today, that day will be the day to go and,
although
that Premier League soccer is
then deal with 3 months of nothingness.
Yeah, that's sad. But transfers.
Oh, I hate transfers so
I know
much.
You do. Speaking of transfers, I do have a true false.
Okay, give it to me.
Cool. True or false, Ivan Toney gets sold next summer.
False.
Yeah.
He would get sold if he was anything other than an English player on an English team. I don't think with the English tax that's going to come with him, anyone's going to bite, given all of his betting, and we don't know how many games he's going to miss and all that good stuff.
Where I was leaning to that part too.
Also, I think he's pretty comfortable there. I think he likes Thomas Frank. I think he likes Brentford.
Fine. Yep.
I don't know if he necessarily needs to go anywhere. He's been linked with everybody because everybody's problem is always a goal scorer.
It is.
But yeah, it is. There you go. All right. So Haaland has this $150 million release clause triggered by We Have No Money Barcelona.
Yes.
And Man City's replacement is Ivan Toney.
I think they'd be okay with that.
I don't know. His replacement's Julian Alvarez.
Oh, right. But you said earlier you'd replace him with another $75 million man.
No, he's not. Tony's very good. He's not $75 million.
No, he's probably worth.
He is in Todd Bowley's world.
50.
He is in Todd Bowley's world, but he's not anyone else's. So.
Yeah, there's that.
All right. I believe that is it for Swinging at Shins for match week 35. We're going to be a little more with it next week. Because I will have time to plan or because Brian will be filling in for me again.
Yep.
Having a baby's weird. You never know what it's going to be like week to week.
I mean, yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, no, I am telling you. I'm telling you. All right. Anything else you want to touch on?
Nope. I think that's pretty much it.
We're talking about Villa and how you don't want to have your Villa glasses on.
Yeah.
Newcastle was going on a run. 6-1 against Spurs. Who cares? 4-1 against Everton. Who cares? 3-1 against Southampton. Who cares? 2-0 loss to Arsenal. Do you know what happened right before they went on that run?
I presume that Newcastle is what we're talking about. They lost.
Yeah.
Villa. They got their butts.
Villa 3-0.
Yeah. That's the
Is
worst.
Newcastle good against other good teams? I don't know. And I think Villa gets to call themselves a good team.
Maybe they fire Eddie Howe next season then.
No.
I agree. I'm fine. No. I understand that, but I'm saying it because people say it. I don't believe what people are saying.
People are dumb. And on that, we are going to end the podcast.
Boom.
Bye, people.
Well, guys, that was an episode of Swinging at Shins. We appreciate you for coming out and listening to us. If you guys want to hear or see more, we have links in the description below. We hope to hear from you soon and hear more about what you have to say.